Show us. That doesn't really work, does it? Have you tried? Oh, that's good. Oh, fantastic. Oh, fantastic. Better. So much better. What a fantastic, fantastic tune. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. They have everything for young men to enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Young man, there's no need to feel down. Young man, pick yourself off the ground. I've been Donald Trump. Thank you and good night.
Then what size?
This one's from Jeremy, Wisconsin. And it says, Tuffy brand coffee is the best coffee in the world. Thanks for the grift.
Anyway, I'm going to find out who this quartering character is. And when I do, he's going to get a bit of the old ice troll treatment.
Went from loathing Brie Larson to being the unofficial #1 fan site for Brie Larson.
How about a handshake? You're going to give me your jacket, your helmet, and your motorcycle, and in return, I'm going to let you keep your hand.
Good afternoon. Well, noonish. It's noon for you. It's afternoon.
It's noon somewhere.
Yeah, it's definitely afternoon someplace. Welcome in on this blustery, cold Monday. You guys are getting a what are they calling it? An Arctic blast out on the East Coast. They had some scary name for it. We just call it cold here in Wisconsin.
Arctic Blast sounds like a soda that they sell at like 7-Eleven or something.
Like a Mountain Dew flavor, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just outside barefoot, but it was like 25 degrees. I'm trying to get
like
hooked
a born
up.
Wisconsinite, right? Like
Yeah.
you guys don't start getting cold until it's like -10.
Well, I have shorts on and no shoes or socks, but I was trying to
Were you
get
that
hooked
guy in
up.
high school who wore shorts everywhere, even in the winter?
I wore shorts I did wear pants if it was like really cold out.
Okay, good.
That was like my experience. The shorts all the time was like a fat guy thing, and I didn't really get fat till like college. Then I was like, oh, now I wear shorts all the time.
The guys who did it at my high school, I don't think they were fat, but like I grew up in New England, right? It gets cold. Why are you wearing shorts in the snow?
Yeah, I don't know. My cousin always wore shorts like year round. I guess I always thought it was like they don't fit into the pants kind of thing. But I guess if you're saying skinny people did it by you, I guess I don't know. The reason I would do it is just comfort. I hate pants. Like they're just not comfortable. But I will actually now I'm getting I haven't worn pants in years probably. I think I'm that guy now. I think I'm unofficially that. Yeah. I mean, I wore pants. I wore pants to my dad's funeral. I know that. That was probably the last time I wore pants, and then it was probably 5 years before that.
So, like, when you take Mrs. The Quartering to like the plays or the dates or the restaurants, you're wearing shorts?
100%. Yeah.
What?
This is how I dress to go to we go to this like fancy restaurant. It's like our favorite restaurant. I've never not worn shorts and a hoodie there. Like people are like wearing suits and stuff there. Yeah. People are wearing like hoodies like suits, and women are Heather always gets dressed up. She always puts on a dress and does her hair. I just go like this.
Your lady gets dressed up and you look like John Fetterman?
Well, yes. That's true. I still wear the hat too. I don't even take the hat off.
I guess you're yourself. You guys have married for a long time. So
yeah.
she must know what she's getting into.
I think it would be weird for her if I like dressed up. I think I dressed up for her for like, I took her to the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and I think I dressed like a little nice on that one.
You got the capris for that one instead of the shorts?
No, I don't have any capris.
No, that'd be crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, it's cold out. I was trying to get Huck to go outside and make a poop because he's still not good, but he is.
Yeah. Where's our Huck update? How is he doing revised medication wise?
About the same as Friday, unfortunately. Although today he seemed a little more alert, so we'll have to see. How he is like later tonight. I'm waiting for the vet to call me
because the government might reopen.
It's possible. I know
he's really into politics.
Yeah, he does follow the politics. I do know that he like one of my girls is in heat right now and he does not care. So that tells you like he's really not. Badly. Yeah. So I'm hoping I think it takes, we lowered his phenobarbital, which is what he takes for seizures. But I'm not convinced that was it anyway, because he'd already been on that for like 3 months and he was slower, but he was still fine. So I don't know. I'm hoping it's just some stomach thing. So I'm hoping they take him in and do more tests. They make time for him today. So they may call during the show and I'll have to answer that, but I will have to see. Usually they call my wife because they know I don't answer.
Well, the wives normally do deal with the doctor's appointments, I've heard.
Yeah, that is part of it. But good news is, let's talk about a couple of interesting topics from over the weekend that I didn't put in the title. The $2,000 check. Thoughts?
I don't know. I mean, I know it always feels like there's strings attached to these things,
Yeah.
Like
they're already backtracking it too. Like, well, it might be a check. The problem is this is a strategic fuck up from Trump, because now that he said it, he's got to do it.
Right. Otherwise, he's promised you $2,000 and reneged.
Yeah. Like you can't, like he did that again today. He's like, all the air traffic control people that didn't take off during the shutdown should get a $10,000 bonus. I'm like, who the fuck's paying for that?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
like, what are you doing?
Coming from?
Yeah, and like, if I'm an ATC and I'm like, the president literally tweeted I'm getting a 10K bonus, most of those people are going to start spending the money before they even have it. Like,
I also think like the air traffic controllers who are taking time off, you know, it's not like they're going on vacation. I feel like a lot of them are trying to find other work to bring in an income. So I don't necessarily fault some of them for being like,
100%.
I have to pay bills here.
Yeah.
Then to be like, and now I don't get a $10,000 bonus because I couldn't live on my savings or something like that. That seems like kind of a weird punishment.
Yeah, I don't love that. Like, I don't love punishing people to have to support their family. Like,
it's crazy. I'm kind of against it.
Yeah, especially if like, look, we're into week 3. There's no end in sight. Most people, what is it? Most people barely have enough to live, like barely have enough savings for 2 months. And that's like, even if they're like middle class, most middle class people can't live off savings for 6 months or 8 months.
And they were prepping. They were starting to tell all the federal workers, like, this could last into the new year. Like,
yeah.
What are we going to do here, team? You know, I think there were strategic reasons to keep the government shut down, but the promise of checks and money coming from Trump it just seems disorganized to me, to be honest, because it does seem like he'll say something and then we get like another message from the administration.
Yeah, somebody's got to clean up for it. Like, actually, we're not doing checks. It could be in the form of a tax credit, which I hate. First of all, I hate the checks. I spoke out against it. People, I understand why people, I mean, look, it's not like I couldn't use, if both get it, it's $4,000 for a couple. Like, are you kidding me? Like, when I say
one is against getting additional money, I don't think.
Yeah. My position on it is like, this is bad for the economy. We shouldn't do this. But my position, like the same with the PPP loans. During COVID, they had PPP loans that you could take out. Now, there was no guarantee that you would not get the money back, that you wouldn't have to repay it, but it was an interest-free loan. I thought the PPP loans were horrible, and they were, but I still took one because why wouldn't I? It ended up being like a free $50,000 or $30,000 or something like that, free. Crazy. But like, I did not have to repay it. And I used it to pay my employees. Like, I didn't use it to take a vacation. Like, I use it properly. But like, you can simultaneously agree that we should probably pay down debt and also think like, 4Gs at Christmas would be kind of fucking clutch. You know, like
with unemployment, like you have to pay into it. So even if you don't think it's a good safety net system, if you find yourself in a position to claim it, you should probably do that because it was your money originally. Like, yeah, it's hard. And when I like with the $2,000 checks, it feels like strings attached because it's going to come from somewhere. So it's not like it's just, and now we have $2,000 extra dollars.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And also, like, I don't know, he said, except high earning Americans. So I don't know what he's going to classify as high earning, but I suspect I won't be getting a check. Like, I did not get a check the last time they issued a check, and they like, but I wonder if my wife would. I don't know how they do that because my wife's unemployed. So like, would she get it?
She's retired. Sorry.
No, well, the government thinks she's unemployed.
Okay,
all right.
fine.
Like, she's an able-bodied 40-something-year-old woman. She is unemployed and thus should get that stimulus check. Hey, she should be taking SNAP too. But she doesn't. Look, I'm not going to die on this hill because I saw a lot of the responses on Twitter. Like, hey, shut up, guy who sits on his ass and reads news articles. I want my $2,000. I'm not going to die on that hill. Fine. This government pisses away billions of dollars.
It feels like more than anything, like, I'm with you. I sympathize with everyone who's like, I myself would also like an extra $2,000. But yeah, what more than anything, where is this going to come from? And it does feel like in some ways it's opened up a very specific target for anyone who's critical of Trump, his administration, MAGA, that kind of stuff going into midterms the next election to be like, and he said you would get $2,000.
Right.
And he backtracked, and he reneged, or you never got it, or the tax credits were lower, or whatever.
He has to give it out now. You can't just say that. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to deliver. And it's the kind of thing that I do feel like sometimes with Trump, you know, because I know him personally, I don't at all.
Right. As we all do.
But it does feel like sometimes he does this thing that I've seen other people do, like CEOs or whatever, and they'll be like, well, this is going to happen. And they haven't talked about it with anybody, but all of the staff under them is now like, well, now we've got to make this happen. So maybe in some ways he's like 40 chess, or like strategically moving around his own administration to be like, but I said it out loud. We've got to have the $2,000 checks now. Hard to say what's going on.
I mean, that is, I think, how he is. Like, he's going to say, well, the checks got to go. And while I almost certainly won't qualify for it, I'm happy for the people that could use it. I would love to see some restrictions on it. You know, like, I would love to make sure that people who are already receiving government benefits don't get another $2,000. You know, all sorts, but I know they won't do that because it's just got to be. I think I got the only check I ever got was Obama. Did I get an Obama check? Did Obama do a check? I feel like it was like $300 or something like that. Or did Bush Jr. do a check? Somebody did a check, and I got that when I was younger. Well, it had to be Bush Jr. or Obama. I haven't been living through many presidents, and I know it wasn't Biden.
Like when Eisenhower issued the check.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's fine. Now you have to. I guess that's my opinion. Now you have to do it. Like, it doesn't matter what I think about it anymore. Now you have to do it. I hope that he plans on doing it. Let's just say September,
2026?
October 2026. Yeah, like that's probably when I would. I mean, hey, we can all call that scummy and still be like, well, that's what the Democrats would do.
Do you remember?
They shut down the whole government, by the way, to make sure they got Mamdani in, which we're going to talk about later. I mean, so
crazy.
Fuck them.
Kings, Mamdani, and now the media is like, well, they've really, you know, launched healthcare back to the forefront of the conversation. It was always in the conversation. Like,
yeah,
actually has accomplished anything positive. So I don't.
I got my new healthcare. It went up 20%.
Oh my gosh, that's not as bad as I thought it would be.
It's not. That's what I said when I opened it. I was like, I think it went from like 6 something to 8 something for the same coverage, though. You know, but like at least it wasn't 600%. You know, it went up. Yeah, like 15%, I think, roughly. Yeah, I mean, healthcare has always been a part of the conversation. I don't think that one of the things I saw as we kind of transition now to the government shutdown is really there's 2 reasons that I can think of that the Democrats shut the government down. One is to get Mamdani and these other special elections people in. They viewed it as a way to do that. I don't know how. I don't follow that only kind of works if you get everyone to believe that the Republicans are responsible for the shutdown, and then you get them to vote.
Which I think Mamdani voters probably already blame Trump for everything anyways.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh, so you have that. But then I saw an interesting thing where somebody was basically saying like, well, they did this to get crime off the front page. And I'm like,
wow. It's not that it didn't work. I mean, I did see crime headlines, but they did fall to the background.
Did, yeah.
The shutdown got more desperate.
As we got kind of past day 20, 25, the shutdown was every day. So I could see that. But in their concession, as far as I understand it, I just look at when I know if I want to know if something's good or not, I look at like how people like Kyle Kulinski or like these like leftoids are reacting. And he was melting down all night on X.
Yeah.
And a lot of the comments were like, great. Now the Democrats owned the lockdown and basically told their voters that they could have ended it. They could have ended their suffering 39 days ago, but they just did it to get Mamdani in, which is essentially because they wanted. So for people that don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, they were holding out what we know is some crap around like illegals, but like the Affordable Care Act, they wanted funding. And the Democrats or the Republicans were like, no, we're not funding that because it's just subsidies for health insurance. And they did not get that. They got nothing.
It's crazy. And also like the Thune, the leader of the Senate, for the Republican leader of the Senate, was like, we can talk about it as soon as you reopen the government. We can talk about it. We're not going to put it in this bill, but like we could talk about it as soon as you vote to reopen the government.
It's such a power move.
Well, every time they voted against it, and John Fetterman being the only Democrat in the Senate who didn't vote against it, they were voting against being able to negotiate because they wanted to negotiate before and also bring Trump into it. Like, it was such hysterical political theater to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it, but I sent you an article from Politico talking about the 8 Democrats that
I got it.
voted. Sorry, I don't mean to jump the gun on this one.
No, we're on the topic. I mean, I'm more upset that you thought I wasn't going to be, that I didn't have it ready to go.
Well, it's not that. I just, it's your show, and I don't know what articles you want to pull first. But this one from Politico has the 8 Democrats that voted.
Was your guy on there? What about the guy you called?
No, he wasn't on there. Actually, no one who's up for re-election in 2026.
What a coincidence.
It was both senators from New Hampshire and both senators from Nevada voted against it. And one of the ladies from Nevada was like... Oh,
Nevada's getting crushed, though.
Right, and she was like, the lines at food banks are as bad, if not worse, than what I saw during COVID. And I can't do that. And I think that is actually basically what is what brought a lot of them to the table. I do think this is a theory from Joe Kennedy, a senator from Louisiana. He said in an interview a couple weeks ago.
Dick Durbin, too. Illinois is getting crushed.
Yes.
He had to do, I mean, this is what we talked about. Like 42 million, it was going to be SNAP that ended this. 42 million Americans on SNAP. We can assume that 35 million of them are probably in Democrat strongholds. The Democrats always stood to receive significantly more pressure than Republicans. And like, that was, I mean, look, Nevada was getting crushed. We know that. Illinois, Pennsylvania's working class, but he was always kind of not for shutting down. Virginia
has all the federal workers.
Yeah, Virginia's full of federal workers. So the people that caved, it all makes total sense.
Yeah. It does. And states like Nevada and New Hampshire both have sort of, like, New Hampshire famously has a libertarian contingent, which could threaten any Democrat parties or any positions that they're running. Nevada has some really strong Republican showings off and on. So if they're trying to maintain their seats, it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
I think it's now like crisis and spin for Democrats because they have to claim this as some sort of victory, even though it wasn't. And it's, to me, exposing a lot of the infighting. Like, you're talking about the fighting online of this, Democratic supporters. There are also Democrats who are like, we need to get rid of Chuck Schumer now. It's interesting to see it all kind of like, that's one thing that I think the Democrats do best, which is like cohesively spin. If they do something wrong or right, they get on message together. But the messaging on this one is kind of crazy. Like, we had the opportunity to reopen the government. We didn't want to negotiate the way they were willing to negotiate. And so we just kept the government shut down. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, this was a total, complete victory by Donald Trump. Not only did the Democrats cave, but they didn't even like this shit is on their shoe. Like they didn't say, oh, we caved to like, they had like some sort of moral. They're just going to turn the page as quickly as possible. There will be no talking about this. I mean, you had The View this morning calling for Chuck Schumer to retire. The View. You had this crystal ball chick who's I don't know, she's some reporter or something. I don't know. I've seen her get sued before. That's about all I know of her. Like, just melting down and getting hundreds of thousands of likes on X, basically saying like, just resign. Chuck Schumer should resign.
Ro Khan called for him to resign, another member of the party. I mean, I think that it was a misfire, and it never, like,
they blinked first for sure.
Right, it's a strategic trade-off, right? So they got their No Kings protest, they got to call Trump whatever, but there was never a reason for the Republicans to come to the table when they could be like, we are voting to reopen the government. We are willing to negotiate if they just reopen the government. And
was so
instead,
savage.
it increasingly looked like a temper tantrum from the Democrats. Now, obviously, if we had gone into the new year and people were still like having to work with no paychecks and all kinds of stuff, everyone would have been mad at everyone. But
if it got to things, I think if it got to Thanksgiving, like it would have been a big problem because like airports would have basically been shut down by then. It's easy for me and you who commute, work digitally. I mean, I guess we'd have some big audiences if, the airport shut down and more people don't, but like I think we talked about it. Like I was low key very aware that like this is going to blow back on Republicans if they can't get them to fold soon. Yeah. Like, because Republican, like we've talked about, like there's probably 20 million Snap people, 15 million Snap voters that vote Republican too. And there was going to be stuff that affected Republican people disproportionately to Democrats, like air travel, probably this kind of stuff. And the total cave, like the naked cave that they basically said, yeah, we did it to get Mamdani elected, which is basically the net of making your constituents not get food for, well, really it was only a week because it shut down in October. And I think everyone had already been funded the SNAP benefits. So, and I'm assuming that SNAP is already funded or will be today. So it's 10 days.
I mean, I would argue too that it made it look like the Trump administration was trying to help the people when the Democrats weren't. And like, obviously I am not.
Yep.
If you look back at it, it's like Trump administration says they're going to try and find funding, at least partial funding for SNAP. Democrats continue to hold government closed because of healthcare, because of fascism. Like it didn't at the end of the day seem like help was coming from the Democrats.
Yeah. Oh, it's Kyle Kalinski's wife is Crystal Ball. I didn't know that. So they're both awful. That makes sense. I had this thing where, basically here, this is again, just like SNAP is, look, again, I always preface this because if I don't, people will get offended. There are people who are on SNAP that are great people, good people who just need it temporarily or whatever. I'm not talking about you. But just like SNAP is widely, if you understand the way the money flows, is just a government subsidy to Walmart and big food companies. The Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, is the exact same thing. It's a massive subsidy to health insurance companies. Now, Trump was always talking about getting rid of it. And, so he just posted this, I think on Sunday, major health insurance companies, Affordable Care Act is a subsidy too. Major health insurance company stock performance after Obamacare. United Health up 1,200%, Cigna up 800%, Anthem up 400%, Humana up 500%, 900% from Molina, Aetna up 600%. Like, this is the reason, like healthcare, you see this, the reason your health insurance is so expensive is because Democrats, Obamacare is a massive scam. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to connect those dots. To me, I think that my health insurance is so expensive because health insurance companies are greedy bastards who are unregulated and scumbags. I don't know how. I'm not smart enough to know how the ACA actually affects what I pay because I guess what they're saying is because the government is subsidizing insurance to the people who can't afford it, then health insurance companies are raising the price of my health insurance to make up the difference, I think.
It reminds me of like college education because we have federally backed student loans. It doesn't incentivize colleges to then make their classes affordable or figure out more scholarships or get private funding. They just say, and you can take out a student loan that you're locked to, you cannot declare bankruptcy on, and we will continue to raise our prices indefinitely.
Okay.
And I think that's, again, I'm not an economist either, but similarly, like if you have tampering in what is supposed to be a free market because you have federally subsidized money come in, how do you create a competitive market space when they can just be like, the government will pay the other part?
Well, I mean, I think you make that same argument too, right? Like 15% of the American population is getting SNAP benefits. Mm-hmm. Now, again,
isn't it one of every 4 SNAP dollars goes to Walmart?
26%. Yeah, 26%, which is, $1 in $4 goes to Walmart. So of these billions and billions of dollars, over a quarter of it is getting sent to Walmart. Like it's a subsidy for Walmart. Mm-hmm. When there are no SNAP dollars, Walmart financials hurt. The thing is, like, it's so SNAP, yeah, it feeds Americans, but what it really is, the triple net of it is, it's a huge subsidy for Walmart, grocery stores, and big food.
Right.
And we've seen the way lobbying works around what can and what can't be paid for with SNAP dollars. I have this video again. So now we're getting a whole deluge of, like SNAP is here, SNAP is back, I'm celebrating. Like,
if you were like having a really hard time, like I could understand being stressed about SNAP, but
oh yeah,
I'm sure the execs at a lot of these big companies are also like, "Sweet, SNAP's back." Like
where is this one? I got to show you. It's one of those, like, it's definitely real, but it is incredible rage bait. Like, this is everything wrong with SNAP. Let me see. I sent it to my thumbnail guy this morning. Okay, here it is. Where is this? I want to show this to you because it's like, it's not necessarily like, hey, these people are on SNAP, they're bad people. I don't think that. I don't think it's right or fair to judge somebody who's on SNAP. Sometimes people need help. When you've been on SNAP for 30 years and you aren't physically disabled, well, then I have some questions. But this is here. This woman gets $20,000 a year in food stamps.
I don't see anything on the screen.
I'm going to show you. Yeah.
Okay.
$20,000 a year in food stamps. Just look at her. You know what I mean? Like, this
I thought you said you don't judge people on food stamps, Jeremy.
I'm not saying she's a bad person. I'm saying she's obese. And the problem with SNAP is she's like, here's what I get with my food stamps.
Okay, I need to find a grocery house.
So she gets $1,600 a month in food stamps. Let's see if anyone can spot anything healthy.
2 bags
Gotta love when they use their gigantic boobs as a table.
of pot roast, 2 cans of beef, 2 cans of croissant brioche, hamburger buns,
It's brioche, not broche, but okay.
2 things of dirty rice,
Whoops.
a bag of corn,
All right, corn's fine.
a case of apple juice,
That apple juice is not good. That's sugar. That's soda.
Yeah.
strawberry waffle, buttermilk waffle.
Why are you eating a hamburger helper? That is like wildly unhealthy.
But
But it's not about healthy, it's about like cheap calories, right?
I know. Well, it should
is
be.
like- Well, if we were in a nation where we had like, Great Depression style mass starvation, I could understand being like, just eat the hamburger helper or whatever. But like,
Yeah.
I feel like we're past that point if one of our other biggest issues is health problems that people develop largely, I would think, because of diet.
Well, and this is like what we talked about. My biggest issue with SNAP, outside of the obvious abuse, let's say there's 3 or 4 million people we can get off it who are illegal, dead, or outright abusing it.
Right.
It's the kind of food you shouldn't be buying hamburger helper or like Swiss cake rolls and Hostess
Or I would think, like,
cupcakes and
the Eggo waffles, like, yeah, that's convenient, I guess.
you should buy
but
flour
also-
and
Can't you
baking
buy
soda.
flour and eggs and then like
Right.
freeze waffles? Like make a bunch, put them in the freezer.
Right.
It's the same thing, which is interesting because it's always like the families I know that do this kind of stuff. They vary the socioeconomic spectrum, but they also like are just more careful about how they spend money generally.
I guarantee you, people who are on food stamps aren't like these. Like, she's probably an outlier, but then I mean,
Hamburger helper and 1 box of this one. A box of toast strawberry
toaster
That's
strudels,
candy.
which is candy. Yeah,
toast fruit, 2 boxes of strawberry.
Little Debbie's, gotta have them. I mean, she's got to
The thing
have
is, like,
some dignity.
There's no like it could be coming. I haven't seen this video, but like I wish we were leading with here's the fresh fruit I could get. Here are the fresh vegetables.
She did get frozen corn pieces.
I
she
mean, like
got
frozen
that.
vegetables can be helpful, especially if you're cooking for a lot of people. Like I want to give credit where credit is due, but like then we followed up with this. You want to be like, but I also feel like I can't blame her because like that's what's available to her, and that's probably like what everyone around her eats.
No, well, yeah, but that's also what's convenient. She could buy the ingredients to make a strawberry cake, and like it wouldn't have all the really, really bad stuff that's in a lot of these. I guess like a lot of this to me is like, the less like, oh, being on food stamps means you can't have chocolate chip cookies. We talked about this. It's like, no, I'm just saying you can't buy processed food because
Right.
when you're on this and you're eating this bad, you become another problem when you already can't afford to eat. Now you can't afford your health care. So we pay for your food. You're 200 pounds overweight. And now we're going to pay for you to have diabetes medicine. And we're going to pay for you to have, all this stuff that comes from eating like this.
She has kids in the background. Like, is this how our government is investing long-term in their lives of being like, you know who should get this money? The mega corporation that owns Little Debbie's. Right. And then your kids get all the sugar. Like, this seems like bad times.
There's no excuse for any of these items that she's bought outside of the frozen corn.
Yeah, I know.
I guess you did make the case for Hamburger Helper. Fine. My big thing with Hamburger Helper is it's not even that bad. You could make it with turkey instead of ground beef, but it has so much sodium.
Sodium. That's what I was going to say. Hamburger Helper, noodles and meat, like,
that's fine.
You could make that more cheaply, probably. The sauce, I guess, is like proprietary to Hamburger Helper. Who knows?
Is it even?
But like, again, like you have little kids, you're doing whatever, you need something quick, easy. I bet there is a healthier way to make it. And instead, like the go-to for Americans is always convenience. So the subsidized, unhealthy, convenient food, like you said, loaded with sodium, this doesn't feel like a good use of federal money. It's not that this person doesn't deserve to feed her family, but like, why can't we feed better?
Right. I mean, and here's the thing. If SNAP only paid for the ingredients to make cake, guess what people would do? They would learn how to make cake.
Or they wouldn't eat cake. It's one of the two.
Or they wouldn't eat it. Either one's fine by me. Right? Like, I'm fine subsidizing, farmers, wheat, flour and, flour companies and all this stuff. But you have all of this. I mean, everything she buys. Here, she bought a bag of flour.
A bag of self-rising flour.
So you could have made the waffles on your own, lady. She buys,
and like even with the Little Debbie snack cake. Sorry, I'm just thinking of this more. Like, you can go to Walmart and buy the processed snap cakes that come from, big corporation. But I don't think you could take your SNAP dollars to a local bakery and get a cake made there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, right.
So,
that's crazy. And you can't use SNAP to buy like a rotisserie chicken, which is also crazy.
That's nuts.
I know people say, that stuff's really not that good for you. I get it. Luke's not here. You can make the argument when he's here. For most people, like myself included, a rotisserie chicken is extremely good calories, and you can feed your whole family on one for like $6 instead of having to buy, refrigerated, frozen, Hot Pocket heat up things.
And I think perfect in this case would be the enemy of good. Like, I'd rather you eat 85% better than 1% perfect, like rotisserie chicken might have some cons. I think it's probably better than the Hot Pocket or something.
Oh yeah.
else.
To be clear, you can buy it if it's cold. So if you don't buy it when it's still hot, because we buy it from Meijer. It's just like a container of like pulled rotisserie chicken. We use it for tacos and stuff. But we buy that cold. So you could probably get that, but you can't get it if it's cooked, which is, again, who cares? I don't care if they're buying a hot rotisserie chicken for their family.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was on SNAP and it's a convenience food, that's like a perfect, tons of people would buy it, but they can't get it.
What is this on the screen?
Peppers, onions. It's like
it's a frozen
like
stir fry thing. Okay, yeah, vegetables. That's why I didn't recognize it. Okay.
Thing of chicken noodles too.
She just bought junk food. Everything she bought is junk. Purple drink, soda, milk. Now, she bought this, by the way, this coconut oil for their kids' hair, not to eat. Just so we're clear. And that's just expensive. Coconut oil is expensive.
Coconut oil for the kids there. Ham and cheese.
Oh, I called it. There it is. Hot Pockets. Hot Pockets. Just garbage food. And like, let me be also, gotta have cupcakes.
But you can get the cupcakes from the Walmart bakery, but not from like local bakery, small town America.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many problems with SNAP that, like, I'm going to say something that isn't going to apply to everybody, but like, bitch, you ain't got no job. You can make cupcakes. You don't need to buy pre-made cupcakes and pre-made Eggos. You don't have a job. And it's pretty clear to me you spend a significant portion of your day eating food. So I don't really understand how, like, more than the fraud, I want this part of SNAP fixed. I'm not saying you can't buy I'm not saying there can't be some exceptions, but literally everything this woman bought is the worst way to eat that product.
Also, she held up frozen corn and one bag of frozen
Peppers,
vegetables. Totally respect that. But like, there's no fresh produce there. You know,
Right,
there's not even
nothing.
like, also like, sometimes I wonder, could you make this go farther if you were like buying, you know, cans of corn to put into soups that you're making? You know what I mean? Like if you're buying more like ingredients as opposed to ready-made products. And I know this is something the internet talks about a lot. Like I grew up in an ingredient household versus I grew up in like I don't remember what the other term is. But like you could probably make this go even farther if you were willing to cook more.
Yeah.
I'm
Wait,
not
did she
very good at
buy any
cooking.
meat? That's a good question.
I don't know. I didn't see any.
She bought meat in the Hot Pockets. Well, she bought Hamburger Helper, but no meat. That's
Maybe
interesting.
she bought it separately, not with Snap.
Yeah. Or she, like, I mean, really, I don't believe that this is $1,500 worth of food either. I don't know. Maybe.
Some of them she was holding up, like saying like, oh, I bought like 2 of these or 3 of these.
Oh, okay. That could be.
Maybe in her cupcake explanation, she mislists the meat or something. I don't know.
She spent the majority of the video talking about cupcakes, ironically.
A thing of cupcakes just for and they complete. Today we spent $1,500.
Oh, she's got meat right here. Steaks! Bitch has steaks! She has steaks. I synced them right there in the bottom corner.
And 92.
She didn't show that.
With her hamburger
Some little kid is putting the steaks on the screen. See that? Her left hand is holding the cupcakes. Her right hand is up here. Somebody else is like, hey, we got steak too.
This kid's like trying to help and is actually exposing his mom.
Yeah. Well, you got ice cream cones? You got a big pack of ice cream cones, thing of ice
I don't
cream.
want to be like so doomer, like you're not allowed to have anything nice. You're not allowed to have treats
You
or
are,
whatever.
but you don't. I don't want to pay for it.
And better stewardship of these things, you know, like
The steak is for the
don't think-
dogs. Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, in this
We don't
in
steak
this
up in this
economy,
house.
when steak
Yeah.
costs what it does,
Yeah.
like a dog. I just think that like again, it's not the comment on like the people who need SNAP. I do think there's fraud. I do think there's abuse of the system, like a lot of federal programs. The other part is like, are we giving money and programs? Are we listing food on SNAP that is a long-term investment in people's health and not money that goes back to McKee Food, which owns Little Debbie's? I just do that while we're sitting here. So that's why I'm so fixated on it right now.
Yeah, I also agree that, look, I'm not saying there can't be a few niceties in there. I'm not saying if you're on SNAP, you have to eat beans and rice every day.
Sure.
I know, like, I know that like some hardcores are, but I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying, like, girl, are we eating 100% junk food on $1,600? And like, how much further could that have gone if you had bought the ingredients? Probably double, maybe triple.
Right.
Like buying all those pre-made cupcakes, she could have probably made 3 times as many of them, and they wouldn't have had all the preservatives in it. You know, all like Hot Pockets. How hard is that to make? You know, like it's just a crust and cheese and pepperoni. Like it's not difficult to make these things. Mrs. Quartering makes me. She buys like they even sell like these pillow like pre-made even like
puff pastry and stuff.
Puff pastry. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, she'll make them for me with puff pastry. It's like this is way cheaper than a Hot Pocket, and it has 400 milligrams of sodium instead of 1,400. You know,
Right.
and it tastes better. So it's. I mean, you had this guy too, who's just he delivers for Spark, which delivers for Walmart, and he has. And then we're going to talk about this pipe bomb thing too, which I didn't put in the title, but I want to talk about too.
So, once again, everybody, I deliver groceries for Walmart. I work for Spark. EBT hit in Michigan yesterday. Before EBT hit, I think I moved 1 Home Depot order and groceries. I was moving a lot of groceries yesterday before EBT hit. And all of these people were paying with cash, not EBT. EBT hit. The number 1 item I was moving was pop.
That's soda for the normal people.
Jeremy pulls out his own hair.
Yeah, yeah, pop. We name our drinks after the sound they make when we open. Is that a thing of? Is that a can of? Yep, you're right. I've dipped my tortilla chips in it. All right.
Like, I'd be going to orders of people who had EBT, and I know they had EBT. I know for a fact it was EBT, because as soon as you make the delivery, within 5 minutes, the tip gets erased. People who pay with cash, they don't erase the tip. Everyone who pays with EBT erases the tip.
Oof, that's insult to injury, too. Now, although you shouldn't be, let me tell you this. Bitch, you shouldn't be able to get your fucking groceries delivered on EBT either. You should have to go get them. Now, I guess if you're physically disabled.
I guess it's like, I gotta say, like, if you're disabled, but then, like, I bet there's a government service for that.
Yeah.
And yesterday, after EBT hit, I moved more pop.
I wouldn't even work those days if I was the delivery driver. Like, I just
trying to make money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but if you're getting butt fucked all day long by people erasing your tips, like, I would just not work on the days that EBTs hit. There's no way.
Can you like work in the rich neighborhood for the week or something?
Yeah, or change your location maybe. Yeah.
Then I moved food.
Moved more soda than food. Again, soda
and
should be
outside of pop. The number one thing I was moving was chips. Chips. You know, like Doritos and stuff.
That should just not be eligible for SNAP. Like, here's the other thing. Like, SNAP is supplemental. So the I think that they say you have some money coming in, and you also get SNAP.
Right.
You want to get Doritos? Use your own money.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't understand all this. Like, but how will they eat their Doritos? Look, if you want Doritos, use your own money for it. Collect cans or whatever. Do some side gig work or something. Like, it's just, I don't understand the, I just don't understand it. I don't get it.
I think one of the challenges is, like, if that's what's available to you and you're buying it and that's your habit and pattern, I get it. But I think long term about, like, again, all the other people who don't qualify for SNAP but still live paycheck to paycheck or on a tight budget, like, they cut soda. So why is it the expectation that someone who's on SNAP that they cannot cut soda? And we all know actually it's about the companies, but still.
Right. It's all the lobbying that leads to, I mean, again, you know, conservative influencers were.
You want to hear a weird history fun fact that this is making me think of?
Yes, I do.
So the inventor of Frito was a guy in Texas, and he has an interesting backstory. And he was basically
there's a documentary on. Did you just watch that documentary on Netflix?
No, I listened to a podcast, or I was listening to a History Channel podcast about this a couple years ago. But his company got bigger. Eventually, they joined with Lay's. But after, I believe, World War II, there was tons of like government cheese, like the dried cheese that they had been sending to soldiers. And so the government was trying to get rid of it. So he bought it, and that's where they invented the Frito or the Cheeto, because he found a way basically to fry it and make a puff.
Oh, nice. By the way, Misty Pine subscribed over on Twitch. Very cool. Thank you. By the way, shout out my dad. Here was my go-to snack when I was a kid. I would take Kraft singles, melt them in the microwave, add a little milk to it, stir it up, and dip Frito scoops in that. Like, that is it. And then as my sophisticated palate developed, then I put a little hot sauce in there. That is an A1 tier 1 snack. Fritos don't get enough love. I love Fritos.
Fritos, I think, are divided. Like, I've known a lot of Texans who put it in chili.
Frito pie is the thing here in the Midwest. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wait, I do want to read. We have a couple of super chats I want to read quick here on YouTube. Lavi says, your thoughts on the potential Trump 2K stimulus checks? I added that to the docket because you super chatted that. Since that panel, have you seen the Bitcoin keynote? Can see no more. It's a spectacular presentation. It was on the felting of the market of PPP and Ashton loans. No, but I'll watch it tonight. Dave Dorr says, I'm 48, in shape, no pre-existing conditions or anything negative, and have never used my insurance at all. My rates went from 684 to 926. I'm not renewing. I'm just going to raw dog it for now. Dude, at least carry major medical if you're going to raw dog it. Like, don't let them bankrupt you over like a car accident that isn't your fault or something. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money, but like major medical is like $1,000 a year or something, or maybe $1,500 a year last time I had it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine went from, I'm 42. I'm not in good shape, but they don't know that. I have no pre-existing conditions, no negative, and I also have never used my health insurance. Mine went from, that was about what mine went. Mine was like $650, and I think it went to $880 or something like that, or whatever it was. Same with my wife. My wife is in obviously great shape. She's never really used her insurance, and it still went up. Phil says, not allowing to let your voters eat to elect a communist seems poetic. That's true.
Yeah.
Also, I'm with Hannah Claire. Bring back economics. Yeah. Well, one thing they should be teaching. They should be teaching like credit scores too in high school.
Yeah.
And how to balance a checkbook. I know people don't write checks anymore, but like that should be a required course for everybody who's a senior. Like you have to like health class.
Just like learning to budget, right?
Yeah.
So we could still do that for sure.
That could be in home ec. Yeah.
It would be in home ec. I mean,
yeah.
I really encourage people to read about home economics, which I think Wisconsin, University of Wisconsin was one of the biggest state colleges that had a department of home economics. Like you could get a degree in it.
Yeah, I had home economics in high school. I took it and middle school.
And there was a bureau.
Dude, you ran a restaurant at our high school. When you you took home economics, you ran a restaurant called the Nifty Nibble, and you could go there and eat as a student instead of the lunchroom. Oh, and you could go up there and get like burgers and mott sticks and whatever. That's one thing that always pissed me off. Like I had never even heard of a credit score until I was like 25 and trying to buy a house. Like I feel like they really should have told me, hey bro, putting your social security number down to get a free t-shirt isn't a good idea. Like
someone should have warned you about that one for sure.
I never would have did it, right? They're like, you if you do this, you can butt fuck yourself. I would be like, oh, well, I'm not doing that then.
I mean, Americans carry tons of credit card debt, and I feel like this is one of the things that was like taught to me very early, which is like you can't treat credit cards like they are just additional cash because you have to pay them. Otherwise, there's interest. And I think especially for a lot of young people who are like definitely starting out living paycheck to paycheck or trying to like balance school and work and whatever, it does feel like you have gotten like an extra several $1,000s a month. But it's not the case. And
that's how I viewed credit cards when I was young.
Yeah,
I was very bad with money. Only getting married fixed me. Otherwise, I probably would still have like a 600 credit score. Like,
well, married men live longer. I think there are all kinds of benefits for marriage.
Yeah,
but that's a different show.
Jason says, I live in Wisconsin. I have stage 2 colon cancer. Only way for my family to get any assistance is for me to be dead, according to Food Share. Yeah. See, again, that's all. I talked about that in. I have a video coming out later too. When I talk about SNAP reform, that should also include people that should be getting it that for some reason aren't getting it. Like I know a lot of people that probably should qualify. They don't qualify. Like we really shouldn't have people, cutting their hours to keep their insurance and cutting their, all this kind of stuff that like, the system should be pretty straightforward.
I was listening to a podcast a long time ago, and it was like a relationship podcast, but it was interviewing a couple that had been together. They're like an older couple, and they were they basically figured out that if they got divorced and lived separately and limited how much they saw each other, that whichever one of them needed critical medical care could get the affordable health insurance. Which is
I know a couple who did that.
I mean, the thing is.
They were elderly. They were in they were in my. I think I met them at the Humane Society or something. But yeah. They were divorced legally.
Like, the government would rather you be divorced, especially when you're sick, than to give you whatever it's promising. It's so stupid.
That's another like letter of the law versus spirit of the law. And there's no way to actually have the spirit of the law enforced. It's like, okay, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Like maybe we should be having exceptions, but then it just never ends. Willie says, we have been pissed off in the past, but never. We've been PO. I don't know what that means. Pour off, maybe, in the past, but never paid for hamburger helper. Just made it with noodles, potatoes, and rice, meat, and added our own seasoning. Exactly. You don't need what's in that hamburger helper box. I mean, if you just take the salt shaker and you just pour the whole thing in, that's basically all you're getting in there.
Just give every kid in your family a spoonful of salt with every meal.
Yeah. Commander Kim says Michiganders call soda pop because of the Faygo pop that used to be made in Detroit. Shout out Faygo.
Faygo and our friends, the Insane Clown Posse, right?
Yep, our good friends. I don't know their names, but
did you know that
shout out to them.
the FBI lists them as a domestic terrorist group, or
Yes.
did at one point?
They did. Yeah.
This is
I
the
listen to their music,
subculture
it's not
rabbit hole I
even that-
fell down during COVID. I read a lot about the Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah, I mean, like, they just write like horror rap. It's really not that big a deal. Like, it's not even nearly as bad as like actual rap music. I had some friends that were into ICP. Like, it wasn't my thing, but like, I never really saw it as really that crazy. Like, even Guar, like, people are like, oh my God, Guar is so bad. I'm like, have you even just listened to it? It's like, not that big a deal. It's not even like, you know, it's not even that borderline. It's not as bad as Wet Ass Pussy.
Jeremy,
You know?
I know. Where's that domestic terrorist group?
Yeah. Nicki Minaj is a bigger terrorist to America's
Where are
youth than
these hate crime
ICP ever
charges?
was.
Did you see Cardi B like loving the fact
She's all for
that
Trump. Yeah.
and Trump, the like whatever social media director was like, we're gonna use that song that's trending, and she was so excited.
Yep. Yeah. The Omega says 20K in food stamps. I barely spend $5,000 a year on food. I don't eat cheap crap, but I eat ribeye, New York strip. I mean, I guarantee my family, my wife and I don't spend 20K a year on food either. Now, we don't know how many kids that woman has.
Yeah.
But we spend less than $1,000 a month on food. Like, I'm 100% sure of that. And it's probably significantly less. Now, if you include eating out, we probably do spend that. Bronson says, no, fuck that. No chocolate cake. It's supposed to be supplementary basics, not luxury garbage food. I'm not going to fight you on that. I think if I were running Snap, what I would do is I would have a rotating thing that I allow for like the month that is like a treat that you can get that month. Like this month you can buy
so much of how I grew up. I remember
that's how my house was.
Okay, that's how my house was. Partially because it was like, we don't buy like stuff we don't need, but also my mom was like kind of an almond mom. Like she was like no dyes, all kinds of stuff like that. And I remember begging her for Gushers. Like I think she had me like, she was like, you have to get straight A's for the whole year or whatever. And I got one box of Gushers and I was like, this is crazy.
Yep, that's how it was in my house. We didn't get that crap. Like I didn't get my dad had soda. I didn't get soda. Like I had to ask to have a soda, and I would get like one a week or maybe two a week. And it's not because we were dirt poor. It was because, my parents were working class, but we didn't go without. But like that was a special treat. My dad had his little Debbie zebra cakes in the cupboard.
Yeah,
that wasn't for me. That wasn't
like,
for the kids. And like,
you had stuff like that too.
My thing was Lunchables. Yours was Gushers. I was like, oh, the cool kids have Lunchables. My mom's like, they're like 3 times as expensive. And it's like garbage food. Like, no, I'll make you a turkey sandwich if you want Lunchables. Yeah.
My mom also similar on that. I remember I remember begging for Lunchables. I didn't actually beg that much because it was sort of like, we just don't have those things. Like I remember after I got married and was like grocery shopping with my husband one time, I was like, let's get some cookies. And I got Fig Newtons.
Ooh.
He was like, are you
That's
kidding
not a
me?
cookie.
What
Yeah,
is
that's embarrassing
in
for
my
you.
house, my mom would be like, surprise. Some Fig Newtons. Look, there's tons of sugar in them. So it was fine.
Our big surprise was those, I don't know if you know, if people in chat will know, I don't know if you know this because you probably weren't allowed in your house, but like those wafer cookies, and there would be 3 flavors in like one vacuum pack, strawberry, orange, and chocolate, I think. Like those would be like, we'd be putting the groceries away, and like there'd be one of those in there, and we'd be like, ooh, like
mom loves us today.
Yeah, like we were good. So mom and dad got wafer cookies for Chris and that was like a big deal.
But look, like this, we're I'm gonna like take us on a little tangent here, but like that kind of stuff actually was like a joy of my childhood. Like,
yes, you appreciate it.
Like to see the thing. I remember my dad would take my brother to like school drop off or something, and every once in a while when he had to get gas, he would let me in, and I would get like to go get a 50-cent Airhead, and I was like, this is the best day of my whole
I was
life.
the same way. My dad would get his blow pops. That was like the thing he would get, or like he would like come, and every time we're at the gas station, me and my sister would be in the back seat looking out the door like, oh, did dad go over by the candy? And sometimes
like
he wouldn't get it
through the window.
Yeah, we'd be like up on the back window like looking, and then like sometimes he'd sit in, he would start driving, he'd be like reach into his pocket and be like, boom, we're like, yay! And then there were probably like 20 cents, they like.
But
it was
also, like,
such a big
imagine that
deal.
feeling for him, being like, I have made the day. Like, it's such a positive experience for everyone. And like, I think about like, if you are always like, I'm always getting the soda, I'm always getting it. There are no treats in your life. Like, people talk
Yeah.
about like sweet treat culture. Like, you have to go without them for them to be a treat. And then also, like, with little kids, especially, or like even like this went on until I was like a teenager. It's like, it's nice to have the surprise. It's nice to have the joy, and also still raise people that don't default to being like, I must eat all of the sugar all the time. Because I do think it impacts your palate.
Well, that whole, what's the word where they like the I deserve this culture.
Yeah.
Like this thing of like, well, I have to have the Little Debbie's. What do you mean?
Mhm.
I deserve this. I deserve my $8 Mocha Joca bullshit from Starbucks. It's like, no, you fucking don't.
Okay,
You
or the
don't.
other one I always hear, I remember this when I was like nannying a lot. The parents would be like, well, they just only eat this. They'll only eat this.
Oh,
It's
right.
like,
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
they'll only eat the Little Debbie's snack cake. Wow.
They only eat Fruity Pebbles. What a coincidence.
It's crazy.
We didn't get sugar cereal at my house. We got Rice
No.
Krispies, which we would sneak sugar onto occasionally, and like Cheerios. The big thing would be like Honey Nut. Like when we get Honey Nut Cheerios, I'm like, yeah. And but yeah, that's such a, we could probably talk
Lucky
about that for a
Charms were
long
also
time.
a like reward for completing all kinds of tasks or chores or getting good grades or something in my house.
Yeah.
And I remember that was like, and I remember I like eat the marshmallows last now.
Of course,
Because
yeah.
at the time it was like I was saving the best part for last. But
Well,
now
I had a
just feel
twin
like psycho.
sister, so I would pour them out, and then I would take a bunch of marshmallows out and put them in mine. So then my sister would get just a bowl of Charms.
That's
She'd be like, "What the
illegal.
hell?"
I remember my mom being like, if one of you steals all of the marshmallows, we
Yeah.
are never getting these again.
Yeah.
Being like, oh.
Yeah,
Now you
I'm
can
like,
just
I don't know.
buy
You
bags
must have
of
got unlucky,
marshmallows.
Heather. Yeah, I know. That's the truth. Rhett says they will never teach credit scores or taxes because they will lose their brainwashed voter base. Same with teaching trades in college. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. Omega says Crystal Ball. I got that one. PJ Straight Edge says Dickies. Oh, instead of, I don't get Dickies stuff because they don't make tall. Otherwise, I would. I have not bought a new Carhartt since they forced the vaccine on their employees. But I'm not like gonna throw out $80 hoodies.
You
Like
go
people say that to
thrifting?
me. What? No, I just keep wearing them. They just, I haven't bought anything new. I haven't bought any new clothes in like 2 years. And like I have all the clothes that I was like that I got too fat for that are starting to fit again. So I'm like unlocking a new wardrobe, you know. So it's
That's exciting.
yeah. So I don't really buy clothes. Actually I bought some when I went on vacation, but I didn't buy, I bought like short sleeve shirts because we went
And
to
more
Hawaii.
shorts because you need them.
No, I didn't need more shorts. I had shorts. I had to buy a swimming suit. I didn't have any swimsuit, so I had to buy that. The Guido says, I feel I'm a normie conservative, head down, grinding to keep up, don't fly over, and I was not affected in any way by the shutdown directly, and I believe most working class were neither. I wasn't affected at all by it.
Mhm. I
Like,
think most weren't. It's why, like, when we talked about the Democrats that voted for it, you know, the fact that the senator from Virginia voted makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Virginia has tons of federal workers because they all
yeah,
commuted to
800,000 or something. Like there's some
Right,
huge
like-
number. Yeah. Our sergeant says corn is actually terrible for you. It's empty calories with a bunch of sugar and starch. Look, if I'm eating corn, if my wife gets me to eat corn, that's a win for her. It's not like I'm having creamed corn. Creamed corn is, you know, obviously worse. But yeah, I mean, I think
I've always heard that corn is a good source of fiber, but maybe I'm wrong there.
I don't know. I eat my vegetables like my wife makes me eat them every day, even as a grown man. And I just,
long-term investment in your health.
yeah, yes. But I don't know if anybody else eats like this. I eat all of one thing. I don't like take a bite of burger and then eat a French fry. If I get a burger and fries, I eat all the fries first and then I eat the burger. When she makes me eat vegetables, I just like eat the vegetables as fast as I can to get rid of them. Like, and she's like, "Did you eat all your vegetables?" I'm like, "Yes, I ate them first." And I just ate them as fast as I could to get them off my plate.
I just like close my eyes and put it behind me.
Yeah, pinch my nose. And yeah.
I
Mr. Tough-
disassociated while I had to eat these Brussels sprouts.
yeah, I don't remember it, but they're gone. Growing up poor, my mom used to crush up saltines to add to government canned chicken tuna or pink salmon to make a filling sandwich. Canned goods with no label except a picture of contents. Yeah, I mean, we used to do a lot. I mean, you used to do that a lot with like breadcrumbs. You put breadcrumbs in with the ground beef, so it makes it last longer, or saltines, crushed. We were never that poor when I was young. My mom and dad were both that poor when they were young. So I think that's why they were so frugal when we were working. Because both my parents worked. They had good factory jobs when you could still have a good factory job. Those are more rare nowadays. Mm-hmm. And, we weren't rolling in it, but it's, certainly we never went without. I'll just put it that way.
Well, I feel like they also instilled good skills here, right? Because they built a life for themselves, maybe better than they had growing up. You and your sister did the same thing. This is the ideal. Yeah, right. Well, we appreciate snacks. Even though I ended up getting fat, it's not because I ate a bunch of junk food all the time. It's not really, even to this day, I'm not really a sweets guy. I just occasionally, I probably eat ice cream or cake once or twice a year. And it'll be like, Heather'll be like, oh my God, this is the best I've ever had. And I'll be like, I'll have a bite. I don't want a whole piece of cake. You're only going for the top tier stuff if you're going to compromise. Yeah, I mean, look, I just never got a sweet tooth because we just didn't have a lot of sweets when I was young. It's just, we didn't, when I moved out on my own, then of course I went too far the other way. Then I was eating cookies and candy and junk food all the time. And that's when I gained a bunch of weight. And I would drink late at night, then eat junk food. And that's really where it came from. It didn't really come from me eating Debbie's with every meal. It came from late night eating and bad other habits. Swanson frozen dinners, Spam, potted meat, salmon patties, sardines. I don't know what, I feel like a salmon patty would be good. Isn't salmon good? I know a lot of people recommend sardines and salmon patties and all kinds of stuff. I don't do sardines. I can't eat the whole fish. It's grody. I can't do it. I have a friend of mine's dad that used to eat them, and he'd be like, here, try it. I'm like, bleh, no, can't have it. No sardines for me. I didn't even really like fish really in general. And that's also because we never really grew up eating it. I think the only fish I ever had was a filet-o fish, and so I like smoked salmon. I'll eat smoked salmon, on a charcuterie. I like that. Heather will make me a charcuterie board sometimes. So she'll get smoked salmon, and prosciutto and stuff like that. And then she has her fancy cheeses. I don't need fancy cheese. Just, whatever that is. Cheddar. You have smoked salmon and cheddar on a cracker. I like pepper jack. Yeah, I have pepper jack, but I like Gouda, but I don't really give a shit. She's like, this is a whatever cheese. I'm like, it's white, it's cheese. It doesn't really, it's all the same to me. I do want to give a quick shout out to Morgan & Morgan. Then we're going to talk about this big trans ban. Now, I was going to make a video about it, but I just think my viewers don't care that much about the trans stuff anymore. But this is kind of a big deal. We're going to talk about in just 30 seconds. An accident or injured in any way, you should know how to protect your rights. That's why I'm so glad to have this video sponsor Morgan & Morgan. When you're seriously hurt, your injury could be worth millions of dollars. Morgan & Morgan doesn't settle for lowball offers. Just in the past couple of months, Morgan & Morgan saw verdicts of $12 million in Florida, 34 times the highest insurance offer, $26 million in Philadelphia, 40 times the highest insurance offer, and $6.8 million in New York, 25 times the highest insurance offer. Their fee is absolutely free unless you win. Fighting big companies takes a big law firm. As America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan are ready to take on insurance companies of all sizes. Morgan & Morgan has modernized the injury law process so you can submit a claim and communicate with your legal team all from your smartphone. And remember, size matters. Morgan & Morgan is big. They're America's largest injury law firm. That means they have the resources to fight to get you the best results, and they're capable of spending millions on a case to see it through. Did you know you can start a claim with America's largest injury law firm in just one click? It's so easy. You can start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan at www.forthepeople.com/quartering or click the link in the description down below. I'm getting cheese shamed by my fellow Wisconsinites in the chat right now. I guess my baseline cheese is probably better than most people's highline cheese, but I don't need a lot. I like cheddar. I like cheese curds. I like, you won't catch me eating Kraft singles very often, but, very often. Yeah. I had them yesterday. I had the classic meal of a hot dog and a piece of bread
with a Kraft single and a little ketchup on it. That's what I had for lunch yesterday. Just had extra bread, had extra hot dogs. I used to eat that all the time. No, we didn't have hot dog buns in my house. We had hot dogs, so you just use a piece of bread.
That sounds like the most toddler meal of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
not saying it's bad. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, it is kind of a toddler meal. I mean, it's Kraft single, hot dog, ketchup on a piece of bread. If you're lucky, you can get the butt because that's like already kind of curved and it's a little nicer for a bun. Because the trouble is obviously the bread will split because we always kept our bread in the refrigerator like maniacs. And now my wife does that too. And it is the one habit that makes me want to divorce her. I don't understand why people put bread in the fridge. It makes it all hard and rigid. I hate it.
Prevent mold, right? I mean, but this is like when you moved out, you're like, I'm staying up late and keeping my bread on the counter.
No, because I was already dating her. So the bread went right in the fridge. I never got to experience true bread nirvana where it wasn't in the refrigerator. 80s kids understand everything Jeremy's saying. Yeah, fuck yeah. Because hit her, Jeremy. My wife, yeah, I probably will. Here is this other topic I wanted to add. Let's see here. Maybe, okay, that looks better. You're kind of Blursula today a little bit.
I am?
Yeah, maybe you can reconnect once.
You want me to leave? You're telling me to get
Yeah,
out?
get out. Get out.
Well, fine. I'll see you later.
Go on, get.
Fine.
All right, now we can talk about her. Let's see here. Why do I always pick the wrong overlay? Which one is it? This one? Yeah, that one. Wrap bread in tinfoil, heat in toaster oven like fresh. Those are all those extra, all those extra steps that I wouldn't have to do if the bread was just out on the counter, like it should be. Bread doesn't belong in the fridge unless you don't eat it fast enough. Well, we don't. It's only us, and we don't eat a lot of it, so I guess. You'll be shocked how long it lasts. Today's chemical breads don't need that. There's no reason to put in the fridge. Good. I'm gonna refer my wife to all of these chats. Everybody knows telling your wife that she's wrong to her face, and then telling her that I told the whole internet about it probably won't go well. Oh, there she is. There, much better.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Olympics are now set to ban all trans athletes for their LA event, which is ironic. But now people like, those like Emaine Calif's reported condition will be able to compete. I mean, Emaine, that is a man. Like, it goes back to the classic. I don't know which governor said it. It was like a governor or senator. Like, I don't know what child porn is, but I know what did he say? Like, yeah. What is it called?
It was a Supreme Court on porn.
Yeah.
It's almost like I can't define it, but I know it when I see it.
Yeah. Because they were talking about baby, like booby porn versus regular like hardcore porn versus whatever.
Right.
Like Emaine may not be I don't know what a man is, but I know one when I see him. And Emaine is a man, and they should just be banned. But I think this is a pretty big move that should have been done 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. When you had dorks like this man, like crushing all the powerlifting.
Right.
By the way, that's not even a lot of plates to be competing at an Olympic level. Maybe at the women's level.
As a man, but as a woman, maybe. Yeah,
it's a world record. I know he set several world records. I don't know if this is going to be something that like they're doing it because Trump's president and it's in LA and they know it would be bad. I think that's probably more likely the reason why they're doing it.
I think they have edited this article since I sent it to you, but one of the things I thought was funny was like they're basing this off of scientific information that there could be long-term benefits even if you have transitioned, which is like obviously we all know that.
No
we know
shit.
That
yeah. Everybody knows that. Yeah.
I can't find the line. When I read it this morning, I was like, "This is so funny." But again, it seems like maybe the article has changed since then. I'll like go back to the Wayback Machine or something. One of the interesting things is that the commissioner of the Olympics, Christy Coventry, has specifically said she's trying to protect the female categories. Like when she came up, which like I can't even believe we have to do that.
Right.
I know I say this all the time, but like, where are the feminists? If feminism is so important in changing the world, why are they not there protecting the female sports they fought so hard to get? I mean, Title IX is because of them. What are
they
we
fought
doing?
for 30 years to have a females category, and then the same people are fighting to have men in that category. It's bonkers.
Bananas. Absolutely bananas. But I think it's so for a long time, the Olympics would basically let different sports make different standards. And I think it makes more sense to have a sort of universal standard. They say in this that people with sexual development disorder, so like intersex people who legitimately have some kind of like chromosomal or whatever abnormality, like they're not totally sure what the issue is there.
There should be no harm in saying no. It's the Olympics. It's not a human right. You know what I mean? Like we're not talking about your God-given right to exist. We're just saying this is the Olympics. Sorry you were born with this. You don't get to compete. Or you can compete in the category that you best represents you, not what you choose.
Right. This is the thing. Like, if you have an actual issue that's like you're born with it, I have much more sympathy than if you were like, this sport's not going so well. Maybe if I put on a wig, like that is totally different. I know I'm
how come
experience, but
the craziest thing is like the undefeatable argument is like, how come we only ever talk about biological men competing in women's categories? If it was really about affirming people's gender identities, whatever that is, then we would be constantly having to have this argument about biological women forcing their way to compete against biological men, which just is not like,
no,
that's just totally the smell test. It's like,
and it's funny. You watch football. There was a girl at I think a D3 school in Virginia who played college football. Again, I think D3 or maybe maybe higher level. As like she was a girl, but she was just playing as the kicker.
She's a kicker. Yeah, I remember her.
First girl to compete in college football or whatever. She wasn't trans. She was just a girl who wanted to be on the football team. Like,
yeah, she's a soccer player.
Hear about
she didn't
it
force
like,
her way on.
No, and I never hear about being like biologically female, identifies as man, wants to compete with men.
It's never happened.
So, I mean, that should tell us everything we need to know, right? Like, are you telling me that there isn't a competitive edge to this?
Yeah, I mean that's where the whole it's just, that's why how you know it's nonsense. It's like, okay, well, how come there's not lines and lines of biological women who want to compete against men? Oh, it's because it's just men cheating. Oh,
right.
Okay, now we know. The one thing I forgot to talk about, I've got two other topics here. I want to talk about one I think you're really going to like. This other one, too, I think is pretty important. It kind of came and went. Late, I don't know, was it Friday? I think late Friday, The Blaze put out an article.
Bakers?
Yeah, claiming that they had 94%, with a 94% certainty, identified the January 6th pipe bomber, and it was a female Capitol Police officer. Now, I don't know how admissible a gait analysis is. Essentially, they looked at the person's walk and then said there was some other circumstantial evidence, like there was some proximity to her house where an FBI investigation was taking place, like next door. To me, I would argue that they probably solved it. Mm-hmm. But the FBI has been pretty quiet about it. And they put out a statement, I think, to Brianna Morello. And here's what they said. Let me grab this. So those of you who don't know, basically the Blaze did like a walking, they analyzed the walk of people. They must have had some reason to suspect this woman already. Otherwise, I mean, how do you even pick which person to analyze? And it was a 94 to 98% match. The FBI says the investigations who placed the pipe bombs on Capitol Hill remains a high priority in FBI. The rewards, basically, they said, no, this isn't her. Well, by the way, that woman also left the Capitol Police and now works for the CIA.
What good. Great. Yeah. Good.
So, I mean, you don't have to be Candace Owens' intelligence agency to say, like, maybe the CIA said, well, let's see what you can do here. We'll see if you can do a little covert operation for us. And now she works for the CIA. It's also doesn't take somebody crazy to think that we had somebody in the Capitol Police or the FBI who was a leftist. because we know that those exist. So it's not crazy. It's like I always talk about, like, everybody thinks everyone in the military is like a good old boy. That's not true. There are blue-haired liberals in the military. What do you think? I mean, like, Kash did not address this. I mean, it seemed like pretty solid evidence to at least say, like, well, we need to look at this. But basically nobody said anything. They're just, oh, we're still investigating it.
There was a journalist afterwards who had like a source say, oh, that's not who it is, but I can't go on record.
Right. I saw that too. Yeah.
I think Steve Baker is generally a very dedicated journalist, so I wouldn't take this report lightly. The challenge, I think, like you said, like if you're doing it based off of gait analysis, or like they had the side-by-side pictures of the faces, like I can understand where it's like,
oh, Big Gate got her. Big Gate got Hannah Claire again.
What is this?
You're back.
This is the CIA lady.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the challenge is, I think everyone knows. I guess, hold on, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. One of the concerns that
you have to say something that you know, but you don't know. You don't know, but you know. Yeah.
No. One of the things that I think a lot about right now is the fact that January 6th will be sort of memory hold, and depending on where you stood on the political aisle, you will think different things about it and the pardoning of the J6ers. Like when Trump pardoned the J6ers, it was, to me, a victory. I thought it was good. I thought it was important. I do think that they were treated really badly by the DOJ.
Some of them killed themselves.
Or lost their jobs, or lost their houses,
like,
their reputations were destroyed. Like some of them spent years in solitary confinement. Like there were huge, the fallout was enormous. And there are still tons of Americans who are like, that was the biggest riot and justice was whatever. Never mind the fact that, Joe Biden was confirmed by Congress the same night, like held up basically nothing. There was a momentary delay. We might as well have set off the fire alarms. It will always be difficult for me to get past the way the Biden administration treated the people who attended that event. And I'm not saying all of them did the right thing, et cetera. All of the caveats.
Don't break the law. That's bad.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was crazy to me that the mayor of DC was like, we don't need a National Guard. That Nancy Pelosi was like, nah, forget, the National Guard is fine. Like, if you're so scared about what the crazy MAGA people are going to do, why was there no preparation? And then I think it's so easy to believe that there were nefarious actors funded by the government who saw this as their opportune time to do something. Because I do think there are entrenched bureaucrats at the FBI or other agencies that are radically left and say, I have the right. Somebody had to do something. And so I acted. And that's the concern. So I do think the FBI should address this. And I think that it's a good reminder that, like, yes, the J6ers got pardoned, but it's not over.
Well, and I think that, like, Kash Patel should really come out and say, like, either we're looking into this or we know, and here's the evidence that we know it wasn't her. Mm-hmm. Like, this whole I'm not going to address it nonsense. I mean, I already think Kash Patel has been a spectacular disappointment in his position. And, it's going to take a lot for me to, like, really change my mind on it. I mean, I think he has done some good things. I'm not going to act like he's done nothing good. He's broken up some terror plots. I think he did a good job figuring out all these Tesla terrorist people, so I don't want to pretend
there could be more. And I feel that way in DOJ as well. Like,
Pam Bondi has sucked balls. She's been very bad. She's been worse than Kash, I think.
It's hard to measure, but
she's been, well, you know what it is like Kash has been more disappointing, but he's done a better job. Mm-hmm. I had low expectations for Pam Bondi, and she has also been worse than that. Yeah, like Pam, like, she's talking about hate speech laws and like crap like that.
Yeah, it's just like that. It makes me crazy. And I just wish, like I said, I think the DOJ was abusive in its power the way it went after J6ers. So I'm surprised that we did not get, in February, March, after a totally fair review, a mass exodus, a letting go of the old guard of DOJ. Like, as far as I know, she's at the head of the snake, but the snake is mostly the same.
They promoted one of the people that was like the guy in charge of raiding Trump, I think. And they also promoted a guy who was instrumental in prosecuting J6ers. Like they fired nobody. Pam Bondi and Cash Patel fired nobody.
That's so weird to me. Like
they should have fired hundreds of people.
Drain the swamp or whatever the term used to be. Again, like I feel weird advocating for people to get fired. I know there are real people, but like if you used your federal authority to abuse the American citizens, you should face consequences for that. And when you get this changing of the guard, what are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, Cash Patel fired some stupid intern that had a pride flag on their desk, and they did a press release about it. A pride flag on their desk 3 years ago. They probably weren't even a permanent employee anymore. Like, where are all the people that were? Who the fuck? Who's all involved in the Steele dossier? Who was involved in like Christopher Wray and all that crap? Nobody. We fired nobody. Like, I mean, it is so bonkers to me. People kept saying, Jeremy, you have to give him time. Jeremy, you have to give him time. Jeremy, you have to give him time. Well, it's November. It's November. Like, what they should have done is like simply fired them and then said, let them sue. I would have just cleaned house of all of them. Oh, they have a contract? Fine. You're not allowed to work for the FBI anymore. We'll pay out your contract, but you're fired. Like, whatever bullshit that you had to do to get them out of the building, you could have figured out a way. Right. I don't like, they're contracted or they're part of the union. Fine, get out of the building. We've relocated you to home. We'll continue to pay your salary for the minimum amount of time, but you are no longer, you don't have access to any of it. Like, because
my fear would be, and I'm sure you think similarly, like if you are left there and you feel like Trump is awful and the walls are closing in and you were justified in whatever you did, and you are maybe, let's say, in charge of hiring anyone, how they're hiring. So it's just like, it's becoming like rot to the core.
Yeah.
Obviously we would hope that bureaucrats paid by the government would be politically impartial, but we just know that's not true, especially when one side is saying everything is politics all the time, always. And again, like we're almost a year into Trump's first term. It's November, not quite there, but I think there is time for Pam Bondi and Cash to sort of recover what they're doing.
Yeah.
They can't undo some mistakes, but one of them for me would be like, we have cleaned house. We didn't forget J6 and the fallout that happened. We are still paying attention to the way the FBI, investigated Latin mass Catholics. Like we are holding those people accountable, and we will not pass on a bureau that maintains that standard. I know at one point Cash said he was going to shut the whole thing down or shut down the FBI building, but like,
I was going to turn it into a museum on day one.
But you could clean house.
You could fire somebody. You
could
let
him go to the CIA if allegations against this woman are true.
Yeah, somebody in chat said you're just mad at Cash Patel because he's Indian. Look, being Indian didn't make him use a private jet to see his stupid girlfriend's stupid concert. Okay, these are unforced errors by Cash Patel. Look, I understand that. I'm even willing to accept the guy got in there and realized that the deep state is way too big, and he was never going to be able to release the quote unquote Epstein files. Or that the Epstein quote-unquote files were never what we all thought they were. But, nobody made... And by the way, I'm just as critical of Pam Bondi. So, I mean...
I think what's hard is that Cash Patel was like...
Cash made the promises.
Right. Yeah. He was on podcasts. He was like, and I think therefore it's easier to feel like personally disappointed. And like I said,
True.
like there's a path forward maybe, but it's not a race thing. It's just like he said some specific things. He is within the bounds. The same way that like, you were frustrated with Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino has done a lot of good in his private career. And I feel like people felt like, especially if they felt like they knew what his values were and it didn't seem like he was accomplishing what he meant to, the disappointment feels more visceral than maybe Pam Bondi, who you didn't pay attention to.
I mean, I would watch Dan Bongino every morning, and the amount of promises he made about the things that he would do working for the government. I mean, he's delivered on exactly 0 of them, and like, I guess I would just say like, if Dan feels like I'm in the government and I can't make a change, I would rather he quit and tell us I went to the government, I tried to make changes and I couldn't do it, as opposed to kind of folding himself into this where people will now question his loyalties. The same thing with Cash Patel. Like Cash Patel was already rich before he took this job. He didn't need this job. And I am only holding Cash Patel to the promises that he himself made. I'm not saying like I expect more out of Cash than one. I don't want one thing more out of Cash than what he promised me. He's done none of it. He has not cleaned house at the FBI. He has not delivered the Epstein files. He has not drained the swamp. He has not fired anybody. You know, like he has done nothing of what he's promised.
Right.
Pam Bondi has done none of what we all expected her to do. Why? Like the best that Pam Bondi can do is some stupid mortgage fraud thing against Letitia James. That's all the fraud you could find. Like we had the entire, you know, SDNY, the Southern District of New York, clearly like being politically motivated.
They obviously violated a lot of people's civil rights, and we're not seeing any sort of action on that. I don't know why.
They rewrote the law so that they could charge Trump.
Right.
They're like, well, we have to get this new law so that we can bring up crimes from 25 years ago. Like, and they fucking convicted him. Like, you can't tell me that we can't get one. How many of these activist judges out there? Like, we can't disbar any of them. You haven't started the process. Like, I'm sorry if you think, I'm not talking about you, Hannah Claire, but like, sometimes people get me fucked up and they think that I'm like a mega cultist. I'm not. I love Donald Trump. I think he's one of the best presidents of our lifetime. I think he's easily the most entertaining politician to ever exist. But like, don't like get mixed up and think that I'm not going to criticize his, like, he put Pam in there and she sucks. He should have got rid of her, but he won't. This is one thing that I have always been critical of Trump for. He is too damn loyal. Like, he will keep people around who suck at their job. This happened in the first term, and they're like boat anchors for him. And all they have to do is like say, "Oh, I'm loyal to Donald Trump," and then he just backs them to a fault.
It's funny because it's like the opposite of the way the media portrays him. They're like, he's vindictive and he's impulsive and whatever else. I'm like, I think he might be impulsive. $2,000 check conversation, but I don't think. I mean, if he's, it seems like there's a lot of people he could seek vindication against, and he often is not burning the bridge.
Right, he's bending over backwards to keep a lot of these people. I think he is a loyal guy, and I think loyalty means more to Trump than effectiveness, and that's. I guess I can't knock him for that, especially when you're Donald Trump and everybody's trying to, you know, get you all the time. But if you're me and you don't care about all that stuff, you know, you're kind of like, you know, Pam Bondi should be out by now. She sucks. You know, Kash Patel, I don't think I can make the same claim about him. I think he's been effective in what he's done. He set himself up for how I feel about him. He's the one that said all this shit. And, you know, by the way, here Lone Wolf put, Tulsi Gabbard did 2 separate press conferences on Obama and a conspiracy to create a shadow government and stated that she handed everything over to the DOJ. Whatever happened to that? Good question. It seemed pretty cut and dry to me. The evidence she had was pretty damning. Nobody's been charged. How long am I going to have to wait? I mean, I'm done waiting. Like, I'm not saying you had to have gotten all of them, but how about one fucking judge? How about whatever happened to the judges in Georgia who were having an affair and pissing away government money on booty call sex vacations and then tried to bring RICO charges against Trump? That seems like a slam dunk to me.
It's crazy because, like, I know things take time, but when we reach January, we're 1/4 into the Trump administration. So to begin the process of removing a judge that's got certain level of like federal protection and whatever else, like, I wish we had started this in January. You know, it's like when you know you have a big project due. Like, yeah, you could start it in the final hour, but
especially with midterms
earlier. Right.
Everybody in the Trump administration should remember what 2017 was like. Do y'all remember that? It was Donald Trump getting nothing done and facing nonstop bullshit impeachment proceedings. So you go into this and you got to think, man, we got to make a dent in that first 24 months. Because if we lose at the midterms, and right now we're trending to, well, now I I feel better about it. But like, if we lose the midterms, that means then Trump's presidency is done. Like, he's not going to get anything done again in the last 2 years. And so you want to get some of these people out. You want to get your base. Give me some red meat, baby. Give me a couple of these judges out of there. Like, you had a district attorney fucking her assistant, then giving him the job. And then they bring charges against the president. They're the ones responsible for his mugshot. How are these people, like, come on, this should be a slam dunk. Letitia James and Alvin Bragg, come on. These people are very obviously corrupt. What's the other? the other judge, Engoron. Like, give me a fucking break. Like, you've had 11 months. Pick one, man. Pick one. I'm not saying you have to have gotten them all.
Do you think there's any like fear of starting some sort of political fire? Like they don't want to go after them publicly.
Yes.
Until they're sure, because it's hard on the outside to be like,
no,
just trust the process, trust the plan. Like they're definitely doing something.
I think you're right. I think the correct answer is not until they have a better case. I think that they're too lily-livered because they don't want to be like, well, look, see, Trump's pursuing his political enemies, and so that they're trying not to do that. But like that, who gives a shit? The Democrats did it; it didn't hurt them. Like I don't understand.
There is, I don't want to say eye for an eye, but there are a lot of Republicans that are like, wait, you can't be so afraid of going after your political enemies or the smear that you actually leave corruption in place.
Yeah. I don't care if Trump spent all 4 years going after his political enemies, because in the Venn diagram of Trump's enemies and my enemies and the enemies of freedom and the American people, there's a pretty big crossover.
Right.
You know, if you're going to weaponize the judicial system to go after a president and try to stop him, you're an enemy of the American people. And you want to talk about, you know, the RICO charges in Georgia, all this shit, like they almost derailed his presidential run. And we're sitting here talking about, not you and I, but like people are sitting here talking about, well, we need to focus on the economy. Okay, great. Right. Yeah, the stock market keeps going up and he keeps tweeting about that. But regular people don't give a shit about the stock market. Like I don't own any stock. I don't care how high the stock market goes. I care that, you know, we haven't drained the swamp at all. And let's not forget, he talked about draining the swamp to get elected in 2016, and he did the exact opposite. You know, I'm going to lock up Hillary Clinton. He ran on that.
Yeah.
Never even prosecuted her. And then he's like, wow, what am I supposed to do? Prosecute a president's wife? Fucking yes!
I mean,
yes!
There's a reason Joe Biden pardoned, you know, himself and friends on his way out. Like, it's because it's in their playbook. They would do it, so they expect that you would do it too.
Exactly. If Donald Trump thinks for a second that if Melania was running a secret email server with whatever, that they wouldn't throw everything at her, he's crazy. I think that's one of his biggest weaknesses. He doesn't really know how evil they are. Even now, I think. Now he probably does.
I think there's like a degree of chivalry. Like he's like, surely they wouldn't do that.
Right, but it's not reciprocated.
No.
He's like, I won't sink to that level. And I'm like, bro, did you not? Now I think maybe he knows more. But that first presidency, I think he was just like, well, come on, guys. Like,
well, I'm going to take us down a little fashion path. Like the Melania Trump and Trump outfits on Inauguration Day, the bright red tie, her like powdered loose suit.
Vengeance.
Much more optimistic than when we got this time with her, you know, iconic hat, even if you hated it at the time, and his dark purple tie. Like it's meaningful that they were much more somberly dressed the second time around.
Yeah. And so I'm hoping like there's still time. I'm just getting nervous because shit in the government takes time. And the midterms are already only a year away. So Trump could lose the majority. And we pissed away 40 days of government shutdown. Now they're going to be out of session probably through Christmas or whatever. So it's like he has to get federal ID done. Like otherwise, if he gets that done, like that can be his legacy. Like Republicans will have a much better chance, or conservatives will have a much better chance. Libertarians will have a much better chance in every election going forward if he can do that. Peter says Cash would always such a big game when he'd go on Timcast, and here we are, talk such a big game. Yeah, dude shit his pants the moment he got there. I don't hate him, but it's been very disappointing. That's how I feel, PJ, too. I don't hate him personally, but he talked a lot of talk. He's a really nice guy.
He's very smart, and like it's hard to talk about someone who you like are like, you're cool, but also what's going on.
Yeah. But he says, yes, criticize it all, valid. Just consider the bigger picture. Be complacent. Don't bother voting outside of presidential elections, and understand what you're now conceding to at this point. Right. I'm saying like Republicans suck. I mean, that's why we keep losing the midterms. You know, we don't show up for midterm elections. We don't show up for, you know, Supreme Court. State Supreme Court. We don't show up for, you know, that kind of stuff. Commander Ken said, oh yeah, he was shot in the head, but Trump doesn't know how evil they are. Okie dokie. I qualify that by saying that in his first term. You know, his second term has been very different, I think. He has openly said, he had openly called out Pam Bondi and said, why aren't you prosecuting these people? So I think Trump knows now, but his first term on Drain the Swamp, I don't think he had any clue really how evil they were. Now he knows. It wasn't just one attempt on his life. It was 2, 3 if you include the Iran one. I had this other topic I want to talk about before I kick you guys over to and welcome Russell Brand back.
Oh, he's back? Whoa.
Yeah, he is back. There is a classic kind of am I the asshole story here. And to me, I felt like, boy, this is cut and dry. I know who the asshole is, but I thought maybe a female perspective, because I saw a lot of people giving this chick grace. So a guy buys a engagement ring from Walmart for his girlfriend, spent $900 on it. Looks pretty nice to me. He texts her, I just got to ask Manny, that's the girlfriend. Here's Tyler, his boyfriend, or her boyfriend, our would-be fiance.
Would have been fiance, maybe not.
Yeah.
By the end of the
What
story.
happened tonight? I've been planning this proposal for over a year. You really told me no in front of everyone. That shit crushed me. It's not even about embarrassing you. Well, it is kind of. It's about you not listening. I've told you the kind of ring I wanted more than once, and you showed up with something from Walmart. So this is about the ring. I still spent $900 regardless of where I got the ring. I put in so much effort into this for you and for us. Tyler, if you knew what I wanted and still chose to do what was easiest, tells me you don't really hear me. I want to feel chosen, not proposed to. Wow, so everything I did just didn't matter. It mattered, but not enough for me to say yes to forever. I'm not sure you're ready for. And there's a lot of women in here and people defending this woman. I think get fucked, lady. And if you didn't like the ring, you say yes. And then you say, hey, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but can we get a different ring before we get married? Something like that.
Yeah, but it sounds like these people are not supposed to get married anyways. It seems like there's fault on both sides. I will say the thing about, I don't know if you saw this. There was a video that went viral of a girl, like holding up her engagement ring and being like, I did.
You guys told me not to be a good wife, and now look, I got married. That one?
No, not that one.
Oh.
She has the ring on, so I assume she said yes, but she's holding it up next to her earring, and the earring is gold and the band on the ring is silver. Jeremy, what does that tell you?
Oh, well, yeah.
So like she is pointing out that like she only wears gold jewelry, and her fiance, she's wearing the ring, so I assume she still went with it.
Yeah.
Didn't pay attention enough to notice that like her preference is for yellow gold as opposed to silver. I know that seems like
that is
silly.
actually a fair criticism though, because I knew that when I bought a ring. You know what I mean? Like
I mean, like if you're gonna invest the money and she's gonna wear it forever, I think it's normal to have some kind of conversation about it, and also to like
we picked it out, by the way. We went together to pick it out.
Wanted to know nothing, but I sent some like these seem okay. But to each their own. And I love my ring; it's great. It's interesting reading that text message chain because it's like she's like, I told you I want a specific ring, and you're going immediately to like it's not expensive enough. But I went to like it's got the infinity sides and diamonds on the side. Like maybe she just is like I didn't want something so flashy. Maybe like she could get a different ring from Walmart that's actually her taste, and it would be like it's like being like I did this really nice thing for you. She did specifically mention Walmart.
She specifically mentioned Walmart.
Yeah, that's where it's like it is like. Borderline, you know what I'm saying?
And how does she know how much it was? But he told her maybe. But it said, it said a lot of dudes here don't understand the concept and just see $900. So let me break it down. Bro had a year of information on the type of ring she wanted, not price wise, but style. There's plenty of online jewelers that would have had that style within his budget. Well, she doesn't know what kind of style. What if she wanted a 4-carat princess cut? Like that wouldn't have been in his budget. The tip here is don't take the easy route. If that you're not ready for marriage. I don't know. I'm on the guy's side.
On budget together, right? Being like, well, this is how much I have to spend. So based on my budget, what kind of ring do you want? And we can upgrade it later or do whatever. I definitely interpret it as her being like, I don't like this ring and I've sent you photos and it doesn't matter about the price. It's that you just like stopped by Walmart right before instead of like trying to find me something I liked.
That might be okay. I could see that. Yeah, maybe. I
really think this couple shouldn't have gotten married, and maybe this is fate intervening.
Yeah, I mean, I think if she if they had already had multiple conversations about the ring, and they and then he ignored that, that could be a red flag. Like, let's say the situation were reversed and my wife got me some like, I was like, dude, spend nothing on my ring. Like, I'm never gonna wear it. I'm telling you that right now. Like, get whatever cheap bullshit, you know, I think we got whatever was popular at the time for men's cheap rings. I never wore it, never once. And then I lost a little weight and then it didn't fit anymore. So then I'm like, well, just buy me a white gold one. She's like, don't you want something like a little nicer? I'm like, no, like I don't want, like, but I said, use the money to make your ring bigger or something. She's like, no, all these years later, I've said like when we had like our 15-year, I'm like, do you want to go and like add more diamonds to your ring? She's like, no, it's perfect. And I'm like, see, that's why you go with them and you pick it out or you talk about it.
Yeah.
Cause I knew like she really wanted.
Yeah. And if you change it to a different
princess
ring,
cut.
you know, like some people are okay with that, but like I wouldn't change mine. I think the equivalent, and maybe this will work for men who might think I'm being kind of crazy here, is like if you on Christmas, I don't know, you play video games, right? Maybe you don't. Let's say you have okay. What like controller or what
Right. I see where you're going here.
Yeah.
Let's say you know, everyone knows I play Xbox and my wife bought me a PlayStation game or something like that.
Right.
It would
or
show
all the
that she
accessories
doesn't
for like a Nintendo. You'd be like,
yeah.
Do you even know me?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that is actually a fair argument. If in the world where they had multiple conversations about exactly what type of ring she wanted, and it wasn't expensive, it wasn't like $10,000, then he's kind of the dick here.
Yeah.
Like, he's got to understand that, like, bro, this shit matters. You can't just go pick up something and be like, I spent X dollars on it. Like, it matters because she wants to show it off to all of her. What is every time something, let me see the ring. Let me see the ring. You know, and so the story is being spun.
Like, this is a family heirloom. Like, it's obvious where it came from. And like, I can understand her being like, especially if this is like a last minute buy. Sorry. You said the story's being spun.
Well, it's being spun as like women bad. But that's why I wanted to talk about it. Like, you did make me see that perspective a little better. Like, I would obviously like to see more of these text messages. Like,
like she might be being a huge jerk.
Yeah, she might have said, well, bitch, I wanted a $7,000 ring.
Right.
Well, then she's the asshole. Or she was like, hey, maybe she was like, hey, here's 5 rings that I like. They're all $500 and you bought this one. Then he's kind of fucked it up. He's the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Or if she is like, I don't like that this ring came from Walmart. Like, it's everything I wanted, but it's whatever. Like, that's bratty and not good. But like, you could go to like Kay's, you could go to a jewelry store and see if they have something in you know what I mean? Like, there are some workarounds.
This line here, you know, I told you what I want for a ring and you showed up with something from Walmart, exclamation point. I think she is kind of probably more pissed that it came from Walmart. And like,
that does sound bad.
Kay is, by the way, a mall jewelry store. I wouldn't exactly say that's good stuff either. But you're right. It isn't
you
like
think Walmart's is a top tier, buddy. I'm not.
I would say Kay. I would say that 10 karat gold's 10 karat gold, and that.
But they probably both sell it, right?
Well, I'm saying Kay Jewelers and there probably sell the same fucking ring. Like, they're not. It's like not a jump up in quality. It's just.
See, that's my thing. Like, if she's so offended by Walmart, like, you get spend the same amount of money somewhere, like a different brand. You know?
Yeah.
Not saying that you should then marry this girl who's like being mean to you, but you know what I'm saying? Like, there was a solution. Again, maybe you shouldn't get married.
I think
it's hard to tell.
I think she's mad about Walmart, but we don't giving her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she was like, I don't care about the money, just don't get it from Walmart. Like,
that's like her one stipulation.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm going to Walmart.
Yeah, like what if it was something like that?
Yeah.
I would argue like,
or like, what if she's like, go to my grandmother and ask her if you can use her engagement ring. I love it. It's very special.
Oh, that's true too.
I'm going to Walmart and now I'm mad because I spent $900 instead of getting the family heirloom. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it seems like people, even though this is framed like women bad, even this a failure to communicate, he probably didn't say a word about her choice of ring at the time. That being said, one would think the value of the ratio would be much higher than a materialistic thing like a ring. Well, we don't know that they broke up. Like, he might have had a history. I'm just trying to give her some grace. He might have had a history of being a shitty listener and like this was like a very important decision that he also didn't listen about. Like you said, maybe her mom has a ring that's what she wanted, and he just didn't fucking bother, and he showed up with some Walmart ring. By the way, why did he leave the Walmart tag on it?
Sentimental ring for free, but now you're complaining that you spent $900 on a ring that she doesn't like when you could have known she didn't like it. If that's what happened, it's hard to know.
She could also be an actual twat. Like,
she could be.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, let me tell you this. I don't know if this is a black guy thing. Okay.
What?
But if let me tell you, first of all, everybody, like, you see the ring, he left all the stickers on, including the price tag, including the ring. Like, brother, if you're going to propose, you take all that shit off.
No, because he wants her to feel guilty that he spent $900 on it.
Exactly. Like, they have the cut and clarity. Center stone's a princess cut.
Or he knew it was going to work out, and he's like, I got to be able to return this. Can't take anything off.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you can return engagement rings. Can you?
I feel like you can. I mean, Walmart's got a great return policy.
Walmart probably,
Maybe that's why he picked them.
I'm leaning towards this dude has a lifetime of... This guy has a history relationship-wise of not listening to her. And she's also a bitch. There
are girls that are like, you make $25,000 a year. I want to wear a $10,000 engagement ring.
That exists.
Like, whoa, team. Like, we got to talk about this. That's a serious down payment or whatever.
I saw that. I used to watch a show, like, I watched a show called, like, So I Married a Mama's Boy. It's great if you like trash TV. And one of the women was like that. Like, he bought a nice ring, like a $2,000 ring. And she, like, threw it at him. And it's like, this isn't the ring I wanted. And the ring she wanted was like $12,000. And it was like, the guy's mom was there, of course, because that's the nature of the show.
She's always there.
Yeah. And like, she's like, what the, like, he makes $70,000 a year, $60,000 a year. You don't even work. And like, you want this crazy expensive ring. Like, there are people that, if it were me and like, let's say, I don't know, and I was in this proposal, a woman proposed to me or something like that, and the ring was ugly, I would probably still say yes, and I would wait.
Missed the quartering propose.
No. But like, I would probably still say yes and then later address the ring. I wouldn't humiliate them in front of their friends and family. That's kind of like, I probably... and then, by the way, he shared the text online, which could be this is complete bullshit rage bait because, Twitter clicks are a thing.
Yeah.
Like
they had this. That's why it's like, actually, they just asked to see it at Walmart. And that's why all the tags are still on. It's totally made up.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
It's well crafted. It's made up because like we said, there's a lot of ambiguity. You could take a lot of different sides.
Yeah. There's no timestamps on it. There's no like, I mean, it very well could be just fake engagement bait. I think
engagement bait. Haha.
Yeah, but I mean, we're still going to talk. Oh, I did mean that. That was, yes, I am a master in punnilingus. Zordo says, unpopular opinion, but some people put too much emphasis on the ring itself. Been married 4 years. My ring is Chinesium Amazon special. I got for $20. Wife has a fancy diamond ring. I mean, I guess some people do, but I think both HCB and I don't. Like, I don't give a shit. I said, instead of buying me $1,000 ring, buy me a $20 ring and spend another $800 on your ring. Like, we got married, like, her ring went on a credit card. I didn't have, I was still working. I think I was selling cars at the time. I was working at a car dealership. Like,
when I was growing up, my dad didn't wear any wedding ring. My parents were married.
My dad never wore his either because he's a machinist. He's like, I can't wear it at work.
Oh, no, my dad's not a mechanical guy. My mom at the time was like, well, I could get a nicer ring or we could get you a ring, but we can't do both. So, and my mom had a really nice ring.
Yeah. I mean, I think that just shows like men don't really give a shit. Like I don't know a single man anywhere that was like, I got to have diamonds on my ring and I got to have, like, I've seen some guys with some kind of fancier rings, but still nothing compared to like a woman's ring.
I think my husband's ring is nice. What I always grew up with traditionally, like the woman buys the man's ring and he buys hers or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to have something that he really liked and wanted to wear, Yeah. And like, he doesn't wear a lot of jewelry. So I didn't mind spending, whatever. It wasn't like a crazy amount, but like spending on it.
Yeah.
Because I'm probably not going to buy him a ton of jewelry. And it's like, I guess you get into watches, but I don't know anything about that. Like,
that's what my wife was like, you'll probably lose it. So I'm not going to spend a lot of money on it. I'm like, you're right.
It's totally reasonable.
You're right.
You know? Like,
I don't wear it. It's fine. Last couple of messages. A white guy named Tyrone says he probably dodged a bullet. She belongs to the streets. This is a first world problem. I lean to that. Well, my first guess is that it's totally fake because, as Hannah Claire pointed out, why is the ring in question, still clearly on the counter in the glass case of Walmart. Fake
and he proposed like that, like
if he didn't take the stickers out,
might be mean, but I think they deserve each other, you know?
Yeah. This says photo via the Liz variant. Oh, they follow me. Who are you, Liz? Yeah, interesting. Okay. Let's see.
We need to get Liz to weigh in and see if she knows any family members who can also offer comment.
It looks like her account is clickbait. Yeah. Okay. I like how they're just stealing from each other and they just tag them like, oh, I stole it from this person.
Nice.
Yeah, I think like the idea that the ring, the price, her thing, I want to feel chosen, not proposed to. That doesn't really make sense. If she was mad that he doesn't listen, then you would say like, look, it's not about the ring or the money. It's that we've had a conversation about what I wanted and you ignored that. But that's not what she said. Like she's like, if you knew what I wanted and still chose to do what was the easiest, tells me you don't really hear me. That is true. Okay.
Yeah. She doesn't feel value.
Yeah. But then she said, I want to feel chosen, not proposed to. That's dumb. That's word salad. That's like a Kamala thing. The fact that she said
mean
no,
like cherish, like I want to feel like I'm special and not just like the woman you like a random person.
Here's a ring kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Do you ever watch Love is Blind?
No, but I'm familiar with the concept.
Okay. So after they talk in their bubbles, because it's reality TV, they have to meet in person and immediately propose. And I guess there is a vendor that like these guys who have never met these women or seen them before can buy rings. And you'll hear on the reunions afterwards, someone being like, some of them are like, I love it. It's great. And some of them are like, it's really pretty. It's not what I would have picked at all, but like, we never talked about it, like, again,
right.
Gold, silver, cut, whatever.
Yeah. Girls wear like, I know this because like, I've always been a jewelry guy. Like I always buy a lot of jewelry for whoever I'm with. And so I pay attention to that shit, but I definitely know that that's like not normal. Like I know what Heather likes in jewelry because I've been buying her jewelry for 20 years. If you've been dating for a year, you probably don't even necessarily know unless you ask, unless you're like, what does she wear? Both silver and gold. You don't know. I happen to know my wife likes platinum, of course, because it's the most fucking expensive, but like
fancy.
But she would prefer silver to gold. Like she just doesn't, she's my stuff that's more understated. She would think this ring is hideous, wherever it's from. But
I didn't want a ring like the infinity symbol ones because I had heard they break all the time.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah.
Like there are reasons to pay attention to what you're buying, especially if it is a significant chunk of change for you, whether that be $500 or $5,000.
Yeah. To bring it home, Chicago Foss says, I remember another Reddit story where a guy spent 10 grand on an engagement ring. He had the diamond manufactured. She loved it at first, but when the girl found out, she soured on the ring.
Real versus lab grown diamond is my favorite debate of all time.
Oh, it doesn't matter. The
it
real
matters. I talked to a jeweler about it. It's so funny.
Well, of course it matters.
I don't care, but they do label them differently, and they do like they grade them differently now.
Yes, I would never buy a lab grown diamond because it seems cheap to me. But I will also willingly admit that De Beers, like, it's manufactured scarcity, and that the diamonds prices are nonsense. And so really I would be like, if I was a gay dude, like married to another dude, I would be like, here, we'll get you like, I don't care about it, but like, I understand
if it
why
doesn't
women
bother
do.
You, it doesn't matter. The thing that a jeweler told me, this is when I was getting my husband's ring, was he was saying, what happens is you'll get these like 23-year-old guys who are working their first job, and their fiance then has this like huge stone, and you just that it's lab grown because like there's no way this like
I can tell always. I know right away.
Yeah.
Like
And so
people
it's like,
with like a huge 4-carat rock, and I'm like, bro, you make 50 grand a year.
it just makes me think that like we are going to see a resurgence in like a desire for smaller rings, because it's
Well,
like
costume jewelry has kind of come back too, and like if you wear something that's huge and fake and you don't pretend like it's real, that's fine.
live
you
your
know?
life. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I forgot. We're gonna send everyone over to say hi to Viva. So go say hi to Viva. Fry.
Okay.
He's talking to Chris Takei or Daisy. I don't know.
Are they giving out their hair care routines? Has he released how he cares
I don't
for
know.
the girls?
But they killed all the ostriches over the weekend, so we'll have to see that.
Sad.
Everyone go say hi to Viva. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye, all.
Bye. Oh, is that an Estercast?